I don't know if you understand how SBA lending works. We've had several, we've had the director of the SBA in this program several times, and I think a lot of people don't understand the SBA process. And we're gonna unravel that for you here. Craig Francis is an SBA loan expert. He's got $1 billion of loans funded over the last 25 years, 2,500 loans placed. He consistently helps entrepreneurs, and he uses the SBA loan process to do so. Welcome to the program, Craig. How are you, brother?
I am doing great. Good to see you, Troy. Sully, thank you for having me
So
here.
what do you think? What do you think the biggest, I guess, misnomer is with SBA and people that don't understand SBA?
They think it's either the government's making the loan, or they think there's too much paperwork.
Okay.
I can tell you about paperwork. Less than a residential loan.
Really?
Your SBA loan package can be done with less paperwork, get an answer, than a residential loan.
That's
I've seen some
surprising.
residential loans.
Now, let's talk about this. Isn't the SBA, it's a loan guarantee program, is it not? So in other words, a bank's going to underwrite the loan as if they're going to underwrite any other loan. But the SBA is going to come in and guarantee that loan. So regardless of what happens, the bank is out of risk, at least for the most part. Isn't that kind of how it works?
Absolutely. What the SBA is a big overarching government organization, civil servants working with banks and business owners to help the bank make a comfortable loan, the one that's profitable, gives them some risk mitigation, 75% guarantee, is enough for the bank to say we can take the 25% risk window, we can accept that, we make a good strip, we make a good income, and we bring in account relationships. It is a synergistic thing. It brings banks, it brings the business owners, and it brings the SBA back in the whole thing. And it's worked well for 50 plus years. It's a really good historical record.
Tell me the difference between, and I'm already getting emails coming in here. I got Kevin Weaver asking me, the difference between an SBA loan and a mortgage loan is ...
An SBA loan can be used for a startup. It's not really a mortgage loan per se. It's funding for a business with the capital, the skin in the game from the business entrepreneur. And what it does, it brings capital to the table so the business can start. They can have enough boost, enough foundation to keep the business afloat for the first year or so.
Are there any more restrictions on the small business? I mean, with some of these sort of systems, that there's more like fixed and floating charges or something like that make it a little bit harder for them to get out of these arrangements. Is there anything like that happens with? No?
Getting into the debt is a little trickier than it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we had the credit crunch. Banks are more restrictive. But getting into a loan and getting out of it,
well, let me ask you something on that, though, because if SBA is mitigating the risk, in other words, they're guaranteeing 75% of the loan, does that compensate for the stricter underwriting guidelines that have happened since 2008?
Not exactly.
Yeah.
Banks are still pretty tight right now.
Well, they're underwriting not for their loan committees. They're underwriting for the regulators right now. I mean, that's the big issue, is because they've got most banks have loan committees, and what that means is they put together when they first start a bank, they put together a charter based upon what their loan criteria is going to be. That loan committee determines when to change. That loan committee is kind of a living, breathing thing, and it determines how the underwriting guidelines are going to go for a loan. The problem is, enter the regulators that say you have to have enough underlying cash to make this loan. This underlying cash used to be like 3 to 1, and it could be held in cash, it could be held in real estate, it could be held in mortgage-backed securities. Unfortunately, now that ratio can range from a 5 to 1 to an 8 to 1 that the regulators are putting on them, not the loan committee. So the tough part is that you've got a balance. You have an SBA, which is a government program. You got the regulators that are a government program. You've got the banks that want to make the loan. Then you got the guy here that has to put it all together. What's your biggest challenge in this thing? Is it the regulators, the bank, or the SBA?
The SBA is easy. It's never really changed in any major fashion in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
What they want to do is get the banks to provide loans to small business. That's their charter. That's what they're in business for.
Yeah.
The banks are between two opposing forces. They're looking over one shoulder going, oh, the OCC, the Fed, the FDIC, whoever it is, the powers that be, are saying, here's the word, don't make bad loans.
Right.
Yeah.
They're bleeding off their bad loans. The banks that have failed are out, but the people that are still in business, the banks are still in business, are still wanting to mitigate risk. What ultimately happens is the other force is we want to make loans.
Yeah.
That's a profit center.
Oh, yeah, because if they don't make loans, they can't make any money.
Yeah.
I've been yelling about that for for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, Craig Francis, our guest here. He's the SBA loan expert. We're going to talk a little bit about specifically some of the loans he's done when we get back from the break. Yeah, it is a confusing river to go down trying to do this on your own. So you've got to have a broker that can actually pull the trigger on something like that. He's got a couple of downloadable reports you can look at. There's a website. We'll tell you all about that at 35 past the hour. It's the Big Biz Show, bigbizshow.com, CBS Radio, Armed Forces Radio Network, Business Talk Radio. Of course, about 30 million cable TV homes here on Biz Television. Great to have you along. Also, Armed Forces special programming today at 4:30. God bless our military men and women serving our country overseas and underway. Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and S&P all up about 0.2%. Follow us on Twitter at Big Biz Radio. Craig Francis is an SBA loan expert, talking about navigating the waters of the SBA. Craig, I got to ask you, give me some examples, because I think folks are going to be surprised to hear that companies like AOL and Compaq actually had SBA loans in their past, right?
Way back in the day, a little bitty company called FedEx, a little bitty company called Nike, AOL, Compaq, they got their first seed funding with SBA.
Really?
Yeah, it's true. Some of the biggest companies you'll ever see started out little bitty baby, in the garage type of business.
Yeah.
Which is a great story. It's just emblematic of what SBA can do at the right time, the right place. Now, what I like about SBA, though, is it is an equal opportunity guarantee program. You match a bank with a business owner that's got a dream to start, expand, buy a building, refinance debt, all of the above. You put it all together, and things can happen you'll never see without that backing. It's like FHA.
Well, but in all fairness, though, it wouldn't happen without you, because we can't figure out the bank and the SBA. I mean, that's you're navigating through the waters. It takes the right guy. Let's face it.
Yeah.
It's a secret, but it's not a big secret. I just happen to have figured out a few ways to massage things together.
Yeah, 2,500 times. $1 billion worth of loans. I would say that's more than...
Absolutely. I'm on the website now, Craig. I've just gone through 3 or 4 pages here to get a loan. There's disaster loans, export loans, special purpose loan. I'm already confused, and it's only been 10 minutes. How do you step someone through that?
Usually a conversation, either email, over the phone, or in person.
Yeah.
And what you do is you take their misconceptions and disappear them, because there's just a few. Those are easy to get rid of.
Yeah.
And I find out what the business plan is, what the vision, their model. And I say, okay, you take this model, add your cash with my expertise. I'll toot my own horn.
Yeah, you should.
You bring the bank into the fold, and you bring them together. It's like 2 people getting married. I'm the minister.
matchmaker.
I'm the matchmaker.
You're the Yenta. Come on.
There you go.
Hey, listen. Craig, I want to do a series with you. I think what we ought to do is on a weekly basis here for the next few weeks is kind of go through maybe the steps involved on who really needs an SBA loan. And each week let's do some education on it if you're free, because I think an interesting part of this thing would be to kind of go through the right fit, because not everybody's a fit, but a lot of people that don't think they're a fit probably are. Wouldn't you agree?
The people that don't think they're a fit, perfect example is, I don't think I can get an SBA loan. I don't have what it takes. They might even doubt themselves as an entrepreneur. As one of my friends says, the accidental entrepreneur, like myself 20 years ago, said, I have got to get into business. And I'm forced, kicking and screaming, into the business. And once I'm there, I go, oh, this is a perfect fit for me, because I'm just naturally entrepreneurial.
Right, there you go.
Well, the person that's got the dream and is working a day job and is antsy to get into their own business is the person I like to talk to.
Yeah. Right.
Starting a business is tricky because the banks aren't that user-friendly right now.
But they're showing the passion.
Yeah.
They have the passion, the fire in the belly. They've got the guts to do it. They've got some shekels. Wherever the money comes from, you put it together. And there's enough banks still in this country, in this town, that will allow you to make that dream come true. And we were going to have somebody.
Well, let's do this. Since we are a national show, next week let's focus on some of the best parts in the country to get SBA loans. I'm going to talk about what you really need to get an SBA loan, collateral requirements, the credit requirement, and so on and so forth. And we'll start doing that. So we're pinning you down here, buddy.
No worries there.
We're gonna. Hey, listen. Before I let you out here, give us your website.
My website is SBALoneStore.com, that's an easy one, or my name, CraigGFrancis.com.
Okay, SBALoneStar.com, CraigGFrancis.com. It's right there for the television audience to see that. For our radio audience, I'll put that up on the website. Our producer, David Comatoy, will tweet that out to you. And until next week, Craig, I appreciate it, brother. Good stuff.
Are you a restaurant, bar, or tavern owner? Are you renting and you want to buy? Do you own and want to expand? Is there an ideal property available that would allow you to open up a second or third location? Consider an SBA-guaranteed loan. Here are the quick facts. The 7A loan maximum has been raised from $2 million to $5 million. The 504 loan has been raised from $2 million to $5 million. Imagine the ability to expand your business with an SBA guaranteed loan. Craig G. Francis originally worked as a lender for 12 years and then saw a need for the entrepreneur to have someone on their side who spoke the language of banking and could facilitate the deal. Craig G. Francis, SBA loan broker. Craig has been helping businesses for over 30 years, helping place over 2,500 loans for over $1 billion total. This is the guy you want on your team. Craig has the experience and established relationships with banks and bankers. Craig G. Francis.
I've always liked working with restaurants because while there's great risks, there's great rewards. And Dan had already proven his business model, and bowling alley just sounded like a great idea. So we put it together, and we pitched the package to a number of different lenders in San Diego. And yeah, a few of them said no, and one of them said yes. Once we found the bank, then it was just a matter of generating the paperwork, getting the loan process going, funding, and voila, we have this business. An overnight success that took about 2 years, I think. SBA is difficult to get. Oh, there is paperwork, no question about it. But when you have a dream and a model like this, it takes a serious amount of convincing, and Dan has a great business plan.
Warning, other sites on the internet ask for submission fees just to fill out a form, when in reality, that business may not be ready for an SBA loan. Craig G. Francis would like to counter that offer by offering you 2 free downloadable reports, the vital secret of the banking industry. Unlock your qualified retirement program to buy or start a business, and the full video interview, a special report featuring one of Craig G. Francis's clients, Dan Hurd of East Village Tavern and Bowl, a great bowling alley, sports bar, and tavern located in San Diego, California. You'll see the complete interview of a successful business funded with an SBA guaranteed loan.
It's basically a concept that my business partner and I, Richard Sinek, came up with, which was reinventing the old bowling alleys. We had found in our research that a ton of people still like to bowl. It's still one of the most popular pastimes, but unfortunately people really didn't like the choices they had to bowl at. They were these old bowling centers, usually 40, 50 lanes, typically a rundown bar restaurant attached to that. So people still wanted to bowl, and all we've done is repackage that old favorite.
Simply fill out the free report form on CraigGFrancis.com with your contact information. We'll send you the latest updates and 2 free downloadable reports, the vital secret of the banking industry. Unlock your qualified retirement program to buy or start a business, and the full video interview, a special report featuring one of Craig G. Francis's clients, Dan Hurd of East Village Tavern and Bowl, a great bowling alley, sports bar, and tavern located in San Diego, California. You'll see the complete interview of a successful business funded with an SBA guaranteed loan. Feel free to contact us using the form on this site or directly by calling toll-free 1-888-666-9722.